All right, here we are at Meyer Hatchery, and it is really dark outside because it's really early in the morning. We're here to see the process of baby chicks starting and hatching. So we're here starting at 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning. So you're still in bed while we're filming this video. So we're gonna see the entire process of what happens in a hatchery hatching chicks. Let's see if Karen's here yet.
Morning.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Dave.
It's really early.
It is, yes.
The kids watching this video are still in bed.
Okay.
So we're going to show them this later, but we're here today to see the entire process of chicks hatching in a hatchery right here in Ohio.
Yes.
And you're the owner. You've been here for 32 years.
Going on 32 years.
Last time I was here, it was just 25-year anniversary.
Okay.
Now it's 32 years. Karen started in a garage with just a few incubators, small incubators that just held a few dozen eggs. But today we're going to see thousands of eggs and thousands of chicks hatching. So, can we see how the process works?
You can. Come on in. We are in our retail. It's our retail store right here.
Awesome. So you can get everything you need for chicks, and after the tour, we're going to pick out a few things, and I'm actually going to take some chicks home. So we'll see that at the end of the tour. All right, this starts the hatchery right here, but before we go in, there's a couple important things to do. There's some wild birds flying around outside, and I have some chickens at home, so we have to take some precautions before we go inside the hatchery to make sure we keep the hatchery safe and clean. And one of those things is a foot bath, to make sure we're not bringing in any bad bacteria or material from outside. So we're going to give our shoes a bath before we go into the hatchery. This is where it all begins. Normally, on a Tuesday, Thursday, there would be a truck parked right here and big boxes of eggs. So all the eggs come in and they're staged and they're washed and they're graded and inspected and put into racks where they're going to be held in a cooler. Chicks can't hatch every day. So Karen and her employees collect the eggs every day. And on those days, the truck comes in and they're taken to a holding area back here where we're going to see. We'll show you some pictures on the live video when I get to chat with you, but for right now, the eggs are all laid in a barn outside of this barn, and they're brought here on a daily basis and held in this holding cooler where they can settle until it's time to put them in the incubators. Now there's some important things that go on here, and Karen's going to explain a little bit about how these eggs settle and how they're stored.
Right. So we keep them at a set temperature in here. So this is the temperature. It is safe between this right here, 70 and 55. So we like it right around in the 60-degree range right here. And they also need a certain amount of humidity, so we don't want them to dry out or draw in too much moisture. So for relative humidity, this is a safe range right here, 75 to 80% relative humidity.
So they can't get too cool or they can't get too warm, too dry, too wet. So the eggs are stored just right until it's time to put them in the incubators later. Wow, look at all these eggs. There's some white eggs here, just like you would find in the supermarket, except these are a little different. These are hatching eggs. So this is going to become a chick, unlike the ones that you would buy in the supermarket, which are table eggs. Now, over here you can see brown eggs, dark brown eggs, green eggs. Here's even a really fancy egg. It's really dark brown. This probably came from a Moran. These green eggs here come from an Araucana. The white eggs may have came from a white leghorn. So there's all different eggs and all different breeds that they hatch here at Meyer. So this is the storage area, and these will be staged here for 7 to 10 days maybe until they're ready to put in the incubator. Like we said at the front door before we came in, Karen doesn't want to hatch eggs every day, so they're stored here until all these eggs are set at one time to hatch on Monday like this morning. Now, after they're stored here, 7 to 10 days maybe, they're going to go into the setters, and that's where we're headed next. So this is the setter room, and this is a really clean room because this is where the eggs stay for 18 days. The chick hatching cycle is 21 days, but for the first 18 days, some special things happen with the eggs, like they're turned once an hour. Relative humidity is kept a little different, and the temperature is kept a little different in the setters. When I say setter, these machines act just like the hen. We can't keep thousands of eggs like we saw in the storage cooler under hens here on the farm. So these are pretend hens, big machines, but they have a lot of technology. Karen doesn't do all the work here. Her employees don't do all the work here. She depends on these machines to help the eggs hatch. Now, Karen's going to explain a little bit about the setter machine and what goes on here.
So in this machine, like David said, the eggs stay in here for 18 days. And they are still on the carts that you saw. Take a peek in here. So right here are the eggs inside the setter. And they do turn every hour. And that method is by the whole cart, all the eggs at one time, shift from this direction back around. It'll stop there for a minute, and then it goes on, and it turns the rest of the way down. Just like that.
Now, this is important, turning back and forth. Inside this egg is a developing chick. All these eggs, 16,000 eggs can fit in this one room. That's a lot of chicks. So, it's really important that they turn back and forth once an hour. That way, the developing chick doesn't stick to the inside of the eggshell. Now, some other important, we're going to close this so the chicks stay warm inside their shells. Some other things happen here, and one of the things is the humidity stays up during the first 18 days. Again, the humidity stays up just like the rotation, so the chick doesn't hatch, so the chick doesn't stick to the inside of the eggshell. We like to keep it at about 65 to 70% relative humidity, and the temperature is 99.5 to 100 degrees, as Karen's pointing at right there. So it's very important, it's very crucial that these machines keep all of that accurate all the time. In Karen's office, on her computer, this machine is telling her all the stats that are happening in this incubator. So if something's going wrong, she can immediately come and check it out to make sure everything is operating precisely. Now, I said there can be 16,000 eggs in one of these, but if you see this whole room at peak season, right now in December, Karen's not hatching as many eggs, but maybe in June, all of these machines will be full in every door. So on Mondays, just like today, all of these rooms will be going over to the next room where they'll start hatching. So let's go see what happens in the next room. Now, unlike the last room, this room is a little noisy and has a little more dust because things are going on in here. 18 days the eggs are kept over in that room. On the 18th day, they're brought over here. They're transferred from those nice little racks that all the eggs are set in into baskets, and they're laying flat now. And they're no longer turning because something really special is happening in the egg at this point. On the 18th day, the egg is laid flat and the chick goes into its hatching cycle. So it takes 3 days up until the 21st day for the egg to pep out of its shell and start hatching. The hatching process can take anywhere from 2 to 8 hours depending on how tired the chick gets. Some are really strong in the eggshells and others take a little more time to come into the world. So let's see what happens on day 21 in these incubators.
Right here again, we watch the temperature and the humidity in these machines real close so we can make sure that everything's running correctly. So we're still at 99.9 and the humidity now is up to 83.5. So the humidity raises in the hatchers because the chicks put off humidity, moisture, and they also put off heat. So this machine actually cools more than it heats.
So wait a minute, we have to keep the eggs warm, but you're saying this machine cools a little bit because
Yes.
the chicks are making their heat as they're coming out of their eggshells.
Correct. Yes, that's right.
Wow!
See right here.
Look what happened
get.
from the last machine to this machine. It's a miracle. All of those eggs that were setting in the setters are now becoming, oh, look at this. Here they are, 21 days later, those little fluffy chicks. Now, the chicks hatch. These are all going to people's houses. They're shipped all over the world. So, after they hatch in these baskets, we're gonna go to the next room where they're processed to go to your home.
We'll take these over now.
Here we go. Look at all these chicks getting ready to go to new homes. There's a lot of technology, science, background, engineering in this whole barn. And a lot of people do a lot of different jobs. We saw the setters where the chicks are for 18 days. We saw the hatching where the chicks are for about 3 days when they're ready to hatch. This is the first stop where the chicks are sorted. So the chicks are put in these baskets. You can see them all if you look real close here. Lots of little chicks, and they're sorted into 2 baskets. Orange and yellow baskets are females, blue baskets are males. When you order from Meyer Hatchery, people order for different reasons. Some people order all male chicks, some people order all female chicks for different purposes. Egg laying, meat production, lots of different things. Or you can just keep chickens in your backyard for fun. So this is the first stop where the chicks are sexed, males and females. After they're sexed, like I said, they're put into different colored baskets so the next person knows what they're sorting, and they start sorting the chicks and packaging them to go to homes. Now, as you take a look around here, as we get close, there's lots of different colors. We saw some yellow chicks over there, we saw some black and white chicks, and these chicks are literally all different colors. Here's one that's pretty white, here's one that's brown, here's one that's even black. But guess what? These are all the same variety of chicks. These are Aracanas. Remember that green egg I showed you in the room when we first started? That's what these chicks will grow up to lay. After the chicks are sorted and processed, they come over here and somebody starts putting them in nice little boxes. Now, it's December in Ohio, it's pretty cold, and you think, wow, Karen ships these chicks all over the United States, all 50 states, even Alaska, where it's really cold. So how can those chicks get from Ohio, where it's December and cold, to Alaska, where it's really cold? Well, these boxes are nice and warm. Now, if it were July, there's nice little holes in the side of the box for ventilation and some fresh air can get in. But since it's cold outside, there's nice packing material packed in the inside where 3 to 25 chicks can fit in this box. But Karen's grabbing something right here. You may see these at the store where you put in your boots, put in your gloves, put in your pockets to keep warm in the wintertime. Same concept. We can pop this in the box and the chicks can go in the box, and that little pack right there can keep 3 chicks warm to go all the way to Alaska. But for your backyard, you can order 3 chicks. 25 chicks can fit in this box. But if you have a larger farm, you can even order 100 chicks that can fit in this box, and they can ship right to your house. Now, Karen's going to explain a little bit of the process of slapping a label on these boxes and sending them straight to you wherever you live in the United States.
And this area is where we print our labels over here. So everybody has a badge. Oh, everybody has a badge. There's the badges right here. They come over here. They scan their badge. Like that. Label comes off. Take the label over. We'll put it right on the inside of the, that goes on the box right here and tells us exactly what everybody's getting. So we walk right down the row, get the baby chicks. We'll grab a box here.
We're gonna grab a box and get it ready to send off to Karen in Illinois. Karen, what breed of chicks are these?
These are blue Andalusians. These lay a white egg. They're very pretty birds. They're blue, some are black, some are blue speckled. The roosters are beautiful, and these lay a nice, beautiful white egg. So we're gonna have 3 of those, and this customer is also asking for buff Brahma. These are pretty cool looking little birds. They have little feathers on their legs right there. So those are neat. They get nice and big and brown and all fuzzy and got those feathers on their legs.
So you don't have to order just one breed of chicks.
No,
Somebody
you
can pick all the breeds that you have here at Meyer if they wanted one of each.
Yes, they can. And we have over 100 different varieties to choose from.
Wow.
So they have a great selection here. And it's fun to get a little bit of everything. Oh, over here are some Welsumers. These are the ones, David, you talked about that lay the darker brown eggs. So they're also asking for 2 Welsumers. In they go. Label on top, put it on top, like this. And then we're over here to the packing area. The area where we put the band on the box. Then it goes over to the postage area and we put the postage right on top.
So does the mailman come and get these?
The mailman doesn't come to get these, but they do wind up in the mailman's office.
So wait a minute. You take these to the United States Post Office and they come to your house in the mail?
Yes, they will. Yes, we take these to the main post office. We take usually 2 loads on a Monday to the local post office. From there, then they sort them, get them to the areas they need to go, out to the customers. And then, yes, the mailman takes them right to your post office or to your house.
But Alaska is pretty far away.
Yeah, yes, it is.
So, I didn't see you put any food or water in here.
We don't need to put food or water in there. When the baby chick hatches, the wonderful thing about birds, so when the baby chick hatches, the yolk of the egg goes into its stomach, and that is its food supply for up to 72 hours. So we can safely ship these all over the U.S.
So they can eat from the yolk, the yellow part of the egg, and just a very little bit of food that they absorb out of that yolk can be shipped to Alaska, and that's their food for up to 3 days. Amazing.
Yes, it is.
All right. So you can see right here behind us, there's more chicks being sorted, and they're getting ready to be shipped out. Now, we went through the entire cycle, and the chicks are being shipped out. I'm gonna grab some chicks in the store, but I wanna show you some supplies that you need to get ready for your chicks. So let's go see the store. Here we are back at the store. Now, customers can come in here, and just like we saw in there, a huge variety of chicks. This bin would usually be really full with all different types of chicks. So if you didn't order them in the mail and you lived here local, you could just come grab lots of varieties right out of this bin. But also, if you order them online and get them shipped to your house, or you come to the store, you can also purchase everything you need to get started in chickens. It can even come with a book if you've never had them before. I've raised chickens for 21 years plus, so I kind of know a lot about chickens, but you may not. So you can get a nice little book to teach you all about it. This little crate has everything you need to get started with chicks. It has some nice bedding. This is pine bedding, but there's one important detail, like when you're getting started, that you don't want to use cedar bedding because it affects the lungs of the chicks. So you don't want to use that. You can get some chick food, a feeder and water, a thermometer, because chicks need to stay warm after they hatch out of the egg, just like they did in the incubators. The temperature decreases every day, every week, as the chick grows and develops feathers instead of fluff, like you see on it, which is called down. You get a nice little house for it, a habitat for the chick to grow in. And here is a little lamp that produces that heat that the chicks need. Comes with a special light. It's a red bulb that you can see here instead of your regular white bulb that you have in your house. That produces that heat to keep the chick warm for the beginning of its life cycle. Now, you can pick all that up in the store, and you can see around the store, we'll show you here, there's lots of supplies. That little crate that I just showed you is supplies for a small backyard flock. But there's also feeders over there that can feed 25, 50, or 100 chickens that you can order here. Even on the top shelf over there, you can see different varieties of incubators where you can hatch your own eggs, just like happening here at Meyer, on a smaller scale. Well, we hope you enjoyed the tour of the factory, and we look forward to questions you have later on. Karen, this is very exciting. A lot of people don't get to go through that door right there, right?
That's right.
So,
Yes.
Karen did a very special favor by showing us what happens behind the scenes on a hatchery before you get those chicks that not a lot of people would normally see. Appreciate it greatly, Karen.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, kids.